Young Billionaire's incredible journey, adopting 3 abandoned triplets reveals heartwarming life-changing transformation. Alex Rivers stepped out of his luxury sedan and into the biting cold of Chicago, the wind slicing through his impeccably tailored overcoat. At just 28, he was a billionaire, a self-made tech mogul whose name lit up the headlines daily. Yet, as he walked the bustling streets, his heart felt heavy. Each passing skyscraper whispered the promise of success, but deep inside, he fought against a hollow ache. The laughter of family was a distant echo, drowned out by the noise of business meetings and hollow social gatherings. After an especially grueling day filled with tense negotiations, he turned a corner into a rough neighborhood. There, nestled between 2 closed storefronts, was an underfunded shelter. Curiosity pulled him inside. What he found shattered his heart. 3 small figures huddled together, wrapped in tattered blankets. Ella, Jamie, and Max, the abandoned triplets, were giggling as they shared a worn-out toy car. Despite their circumstances, their laughter spilled out like sunshine, warming his weary soul. In that moment, something shifted within him. Those kids, oh, that joy! It pulled at him, stirring feelings he had buried under layers of wealth and ambition. He planned to make a generous donation, but the connection was instantaneous and magnetic. He wasn't ready to just walk away. What would it be like to have children again, to hear laughter that wasn't just a fleeting sound in the air but filled the walls of a home? Those kids, despite what life had thrown at them, radiated hope. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. With a sudden burst of impulsivity, Alex made a life-altering decision: he would adopt them. The thought both thrilled and terrified him. As he adjusted to life as a single father, the sleepless nights filled with diaper changes clashed with looming board meetings. His colleagues questioned his commitment, and the media buzzed about the young billionaire's new family. Alex felt the pressure but held on to the golden laughter of Ella, Jamie, and Max, a balm that soothed every doubt. However, not everyone was supportive. A rival at work, venomous and bitter, began to plot chaos. Shadowy tactics emerged that threatened both his business and family. The storm grew, and with it, Alex's resolve wavered as he juggled the demands of tech and family life. One quiet evening, with the triplets nestled around him, sharing dreams and fears whispered in soft voices, Alex felt the world shift again. Their innocence ignited something fierce inside him, love that soared above money and power. Just as he sensed a path to true fulfillment opening, a shocking incident threatened to unravel everything he had just started to cherish. Could he defend his family against looming shadows? As uncertainty mounted, the line between success and failure blurred, leaving all of them teetering on the edge, the answers within reach but still so far away. Alex paced the living room, the soft glow of the lamps casting long shadows on the walls. The triplets were nestled in their blankets, their eyes heavy with sleep. The silence was comforting, yet the weight of worries pressed heavily on his chest. He had never felt so conflicted, his instincts screamed to protect them. But every moment that passed was another reminder of the brewing storm. The next morning, his phone buzzed incessantly. It was a message from his assistant, Claire. "Alex, we need to talk about the board meeting today. There's some unrest about your recent decisions and the media is relentless." Her words felt like ice, creeping into his veins. He had given them ammunition, turning from a ruthless businessman to a human interest story. He could almost hear the whispers, the skepticism from investors and executives alike, but he couldn't back down. The warmth of the triplets' laughter echoed in his mind, battling against the cold snickering of those in high places. They might see him as a joke, but he would be damned if he let them take that joy from him. Later that day, standing before the board, he took a deep breath. The table was lined with stern faces, each of whom seemed more focused on their stock options than on genuine care for the company or him. "I know you're concerned about my recent decisions," Alex started, his voice steady. "But adopting the triplets wasn't just a whim. It was a realization that family, a true connection, outweighs any number on a spreadsheet." He could feel their disbelief like knives. "We can't afford to lose sight of our goals because of personal distractions," one director sneered. "You need to remember what this company stands for." The words burned. Alex fought to keep his composure. He glanced down, remembering Ella's shy smile, Jamie's playful antics, and Max's earnest little frown. Those kids had given him a reason to stand tall amidst the chaos. After the meeting, Alex's phone buzzed again. This time, it was a picture of the triplets, beaming and holding sticky notes with their scribbled plans for the weekend. Plans they made together, each note a promise of joy and comfort. It was their simple world, untouched by the turmoil of adulthood. His heart swelled. But then reality crashed back. On top of all the pressure, a new report surfaced, detailing the possibility of a hostile takeover spearheaded by his rival. Panic rippled through him, his business, his family's safety. Each piece of him felt like it was falling apart. Suddenly, he couldn't breathe. A soft knock on the door pulled him back into the moment. Ella peeked her head in, her wide eyes filled with concern. "Are you okay, Papa?" she asked, her small voice trembling. That was all it took. He sank to his knees, holding her tightly. "I will always be okay, as long as I have you three," he whispered, feeling the strength of her little body against him. Later, as he composed himself, the earlier resolve returned. He wouldn't allow any shadow person or situation to dictate how he raised his family. Together, they would face whatever storm loomed ahead. Just then, his phone rang. It was Claire again. "Alex, we need to act fast. The shareholders are losing faith. We have an opportunity, but we need to be strategic." He took a deep breath, feeling the pull of uncertainty, yet something clicked. Could this be the turning point he needed? The thought ignited a spark of determination in his heart. He might be facing a takeover, but he also had three little warriors ready to fight beside him. As he looked out the window at the skyline of Chicago, a familiar determination washed over him. It was time to regroup, fight back, and show everyone that family was his greatest weapon. But, would the fight take a toll on the newfound love he had just begun to nourish? The battle lines were drawn, and now, it was up to him to protect the family he had fought so hard to create and save it from falling apart. What strategies would he employ, and at what cost? Alex turned his gaze back to the skyline, the towering buildings now seeming more like shelters rather than symbols of wealth. He had to think like the CEO he was, but right now, his thoughts were consumed with the triplets. He was determined to defend what mattered most, them. They were his heart. Claire's words echoed in his mind. Opportunity. What did that mean? He needed a strategy, a plan that balanced his professional responsibilities with his role as a father. It was a risk, but one that felt necessary. If he was going to take on his rival, he needed to inspire loyalty among his team and shareholders. That evening, he gathered the triplets in the living room, where the scent of hot chocolate filled the air. They settled around the coffee table, sticky notes scattered like fallen leaves from autumn trees. Each note was a commitment from the past week, outings, little adventures, and even promises of movie nights. "Hey, my awesome trio," he said, the weight in his heart lifting just a little. "I need your help. Can we come up with a plan together?" Their eyes sparkled with curiosity. Ella chewed on her lip, always the cautious one. "What kind of plan, Papa?" "A plan to help me at work. You see, sometimes grown-ups have to fight battles, and I could use my three little warriors to help me fight," he said, smiling as he tousled their hair. "What is a battle?" Jamie asked, his little eyebrows furrowed in confusion. "It's not like a pirate fight," Alex replied with a laugh. It's more about making choices and standing up for what you believe in. Just like when we decided to adopt each other. Max's serious expression shifted. You mean like when we decided to be a family? We all chose that. Yes. Exactly. Alex felt a rush of pride. They were more than triplets, they were a team. So how do we show the people at my work that family matters more than anything else? That love is our strongest weapon. Max jumped up, his little fists pumped. We could make posters. With hearts. I like that idea. Ella said, her confidence blooming. We could all draw pictures of what being a family means. And so, they spent the evening brainstorming and laughing, creating posters filled with bright colors and joyful illustrations. Each drawing represented a piece of their lives together, playful moments, earnest love, and tender support. This was their gift to Alex's work life, a visual reminder of why he took the risks he did. As the night wore on, he could finally breathe again. The chaos of the boardroom and the looming threat of a hostile takeover faded, replaced by the warmth of his children's laughter. Together, they managed to turn the pressure into a creative outlet. Later, as the triplets nestled into bed, Alex couldn't shake a thrilling sense of purpose. They had turned a moment of fear into a surge of hope. But as he tucked them in, his phone buzzed again. He glanced at the screen, and his stomach dropped. It was a message from Claire, "We need to act now. The board is meeting tomorrow. This is serious." Alex's heart raced. The joy from earlier clashed with the intensity of the upcoming battle. Did he really have a chance? With the triplets' drawings in hand, he felt fortified but also terrified. What if it wasn't enough? He wanted to shield them from everything moving in their direction, but he'd also have to shield himself. Tomorrow would be a turning point, but would they be ready for what came next? He squeezed their tiny hands, knowing they were all braving the storm together. The thought rang in his mind, would love indeed conquer all, or would the shadows engulf everything he fought to build? The morning sun spilled through the curtains, casting stripes of light across the room. Alex woke up with a pit in his stomach, a mix of excitement and dread swirling inside him. The board meeting loomed ahead like a storm cloud on the horizon, heavy and dark. He could still hear the echoes of the triplets' laughter from the night before, their bright spirits fueling his own resolve. In the kitchen, he found the triplets already sitting at the table, breakfast spread out before them. They giggled over their pancakes, faces smeared with syrup, oblivious to the weight on their father's shoulders. "Good morning, my champions," he called out, forcing his lips into a smile. "Papa. Look. I drew a heart on mine," Ella exclaimed, pointing to her stack of pancakes. "Double hearts," Jamie added, showing off his own plate of pancakes, smothered in syrup and butter. Max, serious as ever, looked up from his breakfast. "Are you ready for your big battle today?" Alex nodded slowly, feeling warmth spread through his chest. "I think I am. Thanks to you three." After breakfast, he gathered them for one last pep talk. Sitting on the living room floor, he felt the triplets' eager eyes on him, their enthusiasm contagious. "Today, I'm going to show everyone how important family is. Just like we practiced last night." The triplets nodded, their hands clasped together as if they were preparing for a group hug. "What if they don't listen?" Max asked, brow furrowed. "Then we show them through our hearts. A family sticks together, no matter what," Alex replied, his voice steady. With that, they nestled back into their routine, just as the clock ticked unkindly closer to the meeting. Time blurred as he pulled on a crisp suit, the fabric feeling foreign against his skin. He took one last glance at the triplets. Their joy was pure and untainted, and for a moment, he let it wash over him. As he arrived at the office, the atmosphere was thick with tension. Colleagues shuffled about nervously, glancing at one another, voices a mere whisper. Alex's heart thundered in his chest. He felt like he was on a precipice, ready to leap into the unknown. Inside the large boardroom, the air turned electric. The board members shuffled their papers, looking at him expectantly. Claire shot him an encouraging nod. "You all know why we're here," the chairperson began, his tone grim. "We need to discuss the future of this company and the proposed changes." The discussion erupted with murmurs, proposals and counter-proposals echoing off the sterile walls. The stakes felt impossibly high. Then, taking a breath full of hope and fear, Alex stood up, his heart pounding. "Excuse me. I have something to say," but before he could continue, the door burst open. The triplets, each holding one of their colorful posters, bounded into the room, eyes wide with excitement. "We came to help," Jamie shouted, glancing around at the stunned board members, disbelief etched across their faces. In that moment, everything fell silent. His heart pounded as he realized the risk they'd taken, but then he saw it, the shock slowly melting into smiles on some faces, curiosity lighting the room. "Papa, we made these to show everyone how much family matters." Ella chimed, her voice ringing with innocence and determination. Alex's breath caught in his throat. He felt the room's energy shift, as if their presence was a glimmer of light breaking through the clouds. As he watched his children, the ultimate reminders of what he was fighting for, he knew he had to embrace this moment. Could they really change the course of this meeting with that simple message? His heart raced, and as the triplets took center stage, he felt a rush of warmth and pride. He thought about love, connection, and everything they'd built together. But would their innocence and passion be enough to sway the board? Would this unexpected arrival turn the tide? The bright blue of Ella's poster caught his eye, its big heart glaring at him like a beacon of hope. "Let us find out," he said softly. The tension in the boardroom was palpable as Alex watched his children stand proudly, each clutching their handmade signs. Jamie's poster was bright yellow, splashed with crayon hearts and bold letters exclaiming, "Family First." Ella's blue sign shimmered under the fluorescent lights, and Max stood tall, unwavering, the weight of his own serious expression contrasting with the sweetness of his siblings. "Who let them in here?" The chairperson barked, breaking the silence that had fallen over the room. But before anyone could respond, Ella stepped forward. "We just wanted to show you all how much family means. When we're together, we are happy," she declared, her voice echoing with the innocence that only a child could possess. A flicker of uncertainty crossed the faces of the board members. It was unexpected, a moment of vulnerability in the sterile environment of business negotiations. Alex sensed a shift, the air thickening with a mix of surprise and curiosity. "Family is more important than business," Max added, his small voice steady yet powerful. "If you take that away, what do we have left?" His words hung in the air, stirring something deep inside everyone present. Claire nodded, a small smile creeping onto her lips, reflecting the unexpected lilt of the moment. She leaned forward, her eyes glinting with admiration for the triplets' audacity. "Kids, you're very brave for speaking up. Your message is profound and important. Family is the heart of what makes us strong." As Alex listened to Claire, pride flooded through him. His children were the embodiment of what he had always fought for, a life centered around love, connection, and the belief that family should come first, even in the cutthroat world of business. The chairperson cleared his throat, seemingly thrown off balance. "I appreciate your enthusiasm, children, but this is a serious meeting about the future of our company, sir. No one cares more about the company than those who run it as a family." Jamie interrupted, boldly. "If we lose sight of that, we'll lose everything that makes this place great." The board members exchanged glances, their expressions shifting from disbelief to contemplation. Alex, feeling the warmth in his chest swell further, realized he had to add his voice now. The risk taken by his kids had thrown them all a lifebuoy. "Exactly," he began, stepping forward. "They are right. Our decisions impact not just our profits but our people. Family values must figure into this," he urged, his voice steadier now. "We need to create an environment where everyone feels connected and valued. Our strength lies in our unity." The feelings in the room transformed like wildflowers blooming after a long winter. Somewhere, beneath layers of formality, people began to nod, recalling their own family experiences. But then came a cold voice. Are we seriously going to let children dictate business strategy? It came from a sharp-dressed board member who had always held disdain for the more emotional aspects of business. Not dictate, Claire responded firmly, but inspire. Sometimes, it takes the pure hearts of children to remind us of what truly matters. With that, the tension thickened again, but now, it was charged with hope. Alex held his breath, words caught in his throat. Would the board wise up and embrace this perspective? Just then, Jamie pointed out the window. Look, Papa. It's like the sun is shining just for us. Alex followed his gaze, the sun breaking through the clouds outside the boardroom windows, beams of light cascading in like a spotlight on a stage. He felt like all their hopes and dreams were shining through that moment. Would this simple act of bravery from the triplets shift the tides of the meeting? Would it lead to something more than just negotiations? As excitement and uncertainty battled within him, Alex's heart raced with the thrill of possibility. The moment hung heavy in the air. But just as Alex prepared to take the plunge into the active path of change, the chairperson's phone buzzed, an urgent tone cutting through the air. Let us see what they want. He muttered, eyes narrowing at the screen, leaving the room's fate momentarily in suspense. The chairperson's eyes darted back and forth, glancing at the screen and then back up at the room full of expectant faces. The buzzing tension seemed to thicken, swirling around like clouds before a storm. Alex noticed the shift, board members leaned in, their curiosity piqued. Even the cold voice from earlier now held a breath of anticipation. What is it? Someone finally asked, breaking the awkward silence that he turned the phone towards them, revealing a headline from a news app that read, Company under scrutiny, reports of mismanagement emerge. Gasps filled the room. Alex's heart dropped. This wasn't just a meeting about strategy anymore, it was about survival. Unbelievable, Claire whispered, her eyes widening in shock. How did this happen? It's likely tied to that last merger, the chairperson said grimly, pushing back in his chair. I thought we had this covered. Alex felt the weight of the world on his shoulders as he processed the gravity of the news. If they lost this deal, the entire company could be in jeopardy. The children's innocent pleas about family suddenly seemed overshadowed by an enormous wave of corporate turbulence. But then he looked at his kids again. Jamie, with his bright yellow poster, still looked hopeful and determined. Ella's blue sign shimmered, resisting the shadow that the news threatened to cast over them. Max, steady as ever, stood like a fortress. Maybe this is the perfect moment to reinforce what we've been saying, Alex found himself saying, his nerves igniting a spark of defiance. If we show our commitment to family, to people, everyone will want to join us. When times get tough, it's those relationships, the family bonds that carry us through. With his heart pounding, he turned to the board members, searching their eyes for signs of engagement. We need to embrace transparency and accountability. We have to listen to our employees, our customers. They're our family too. The chairperson frowned, uncertain. This might be a tougher sell now, Alex. We need solid, actionable ideas. Who would take us seriously when scrutiny is above us? Let us show them who we are, Alex urged, voice rising slightly. Let us collaborate with our community, hold town halls to address concerns. We can turn this into an opportunity to reinforce our values. He took a deep breath, seeking a spark of inspiration. Let us create a family festival, something where every employee can come with their families. Let us celebrate what we stand for. Everyone loves a reason to join together. We'll show them we're united. The board members shifted in their chairs, murmurs filled the air. Could this shifting narrative make a difference? But Alex, Claire spoke up hesitantly, what if this doesn't work? What if we put everything on the line again, and we still end up? She trailed off, staring out the window, where the sun had begun to retreat behind a wall of clouds. "Then we regroup and try again," Max answered, his small voice breaking through the doubts. It was a powerful reminder: failure wasn't a stop sign but merely an obstacle. Family doesn't give up, right? His siblings nodded, their conviction anchoring the room once more. Alex felt a swell of pride as he watched his children advocate fearlessly, unearthing a refreshing passion amidst uncertainty. Suddenly, the chairperson stood, invigorated. "You're right. Let's pivot. We need to put our values front and center. This might just be the very thing that saves us." As excitement danced in the air, attention turned to strategy. Plans began to take root, and ideas flourished like budding flowers on a spring morning, but just as the room buzzed with renewed hope, an unexpected email alert flashed on the chairperson's phone again. His brows knitted together as he froze, a shadow of unease crossing his face. "What now?" someone asked, tension rising anew. He cleared his throat. "This just came in from corporate headquarters. There's more to discuss regarding our recent partnerships and it's not good." The energy in the room shifted instantly. The laughter and chatter faded as all eyes turned toward the chairperson, anxiously awaiting the next turn of events. Could they truly navigate these choppy waters together? Or would they find themselves washed away by the tides of corporate struggle? The chairperson's face paled, creating a stark contrast to the vibrant energy that had just ignited the meeting. A thick silence enveloped the room, as tension tightened like a vice. Alex's heart raced. What could be worse than what they had just heard? "The message states that corporate headquarters is auditing our recent acquisitions," he continued, the sharpness of his tone underlining the severity of the situation. "They suspect unethical practices, and they may freeze our funding until they resolve the matter." Gasps echoed, intermingled with whispers of disbelief. Alex's mind raced, desperately searching for solutions. This was not just a company at stake, it was their dream, their family they'd hoped to build a future for. "But we can't let this happen," Claire exclaimed, rising from her seat instinctively, her passion spilling over. "Alex, what can we do now? We're already in the fire." Alex locked eyes with her, feeling a surge of determination. "We start with transparency. We gather our employees and tell them everything. Unity is our strength. If everyone knows what we're up against, we can inspire action." "That's risky," the chairperson interjected, his brows knitted tightly. "We could lose credibility if we don't handle this right. We've already lost credibility with this scandal hanging over us." Claire shot back, frustration evident in her tone. "This is our chance to stand up and show we're not hiding. We need our people behind us." Max, still small yet brimming with bravery, looked at his dad with wide eyes. "Can we really pull it off, Dad?" "You bet we can, buddy," Alex replied, feeling the warmth of his son's trust wrap around him. "We have to lead with our hearts. If we show them how much we value our family, our larger company family, they'll respond." The chairperson's expression softened slightly, contemplating their words. "All right, but we need to act fast. We should plan an all-company meeting. Just laying it all on the table might be enough to galvanize support." Commitment rippled through the group. The energy shifted, it was no longer just about damages and scrutiny but becoming something more. This was a fight for their identity, a fight for the family they believed in. "Let's get the ball rolling on that festival idea too," Alex proposed, his voice steady. "We need a strong show of support. The festival can be our platform to come together, to build trust internally before trusting the world again." Excitement brewed in the room once more as board members started nodding and making quick notes. Ideas began to form: family movie nights, workshops, food trucks, games, all centered on making connections. But just as plans were coming together, another message from corporate headquarters flashed on the chairperson's phone. His expression darkened again, setting off alarms in Alex's mind. "What is it now?" Someone asked, dread creeping back into their voices. The chairperson took a deep breath, visibly shaken. There's also a threat of legal action from our largest investor. They expressed losing faith in the leadership. A wave of despair crashed over Alex. If they proceeded without assurance, it could potentially end everything they had worked for. Yet, the tenacity of his family's spirit ignited inside him. Listen, he implored, looking at his kids and the board members all at once. We didn't come this far to turn back now. We faced challenges together and we come out stronger. It's not going to be easy, but nothing worth having ever is. The uncertainty lingered, sweetened by a collective resilience. They were still navigating choppy waters, but for the first time, there was a map laid out before them: unity, transparency, and hope. Just as a renewed sense of purpose began to fill the room, the chairperson's phone buzzed once more. We need to prepare for the worst, he said, and fast. The air thickened again, each pulse in the room resonating with unanswered questions and deepening resolve. What would their next move be, and could they find a way not just to survive, but to thrive against the odds? As the chatter resumed at a fevered pitch, Alex felt a small hand squeeze his own. He turned to see Max, his gaze steady and unwavering. No matter what happens, he said, we're a family, right? Alex nodded, his heart swelling with love and determination. They had built this together, and they'd face whatever was coming as one, but the question remained, what new storm awaited them just beyond the horizon? Alex sensed the weight of the world pressing down on him. Every conversation in the room felt like an unspoken question hanging in the air. He could see the fear etched on the faces of the board members, mirroring the worries thrumming in his chest. The meeting shifted into a flurry of activity as ideas clashed and merged, each one desperate to find a glimmer of hope among the chaos. Let's think outside the box, Claire urged, pacing as she spoke. What if we engage the community more directly? Let them see who we really are, beyond the headlines. A festival could do just that. Max's eyes lit up. Like a carnival? Can we have cotton candy? Alex chuckled, the innocence of his son's question momentarily lifting the heaviness rattling in his heart. Absolutely, buddy. And not just cotton candy. We can make it a day full of fun, games, laughter. Let's bring back the spirit of togetherness. The mood in the room lightened ever so slightly, but the chairperson remained cautious. But we need to ensure that this festival doesn't come across as a distraction from the serious issues at hand. Our investors won't take kindly to any appearances of triviality. We can't shy away from our brand, Alex said, looking around the room. We have to embrace who we are: family-oriented, community-driven. Let them know that we acknowledge the challenges and are taking steps to fix them. Show them we are fighting for each other, not hiding in the shadows. Claire nodded, her resolve sharpening. We craft the narrative. We take control of our story. We need to bring everyone together: our employees and their families. Our community deserves to see how much we value their support. We can pick up this narrative and turn it into something beautiful. Mom's right. Max piped in again. We can paint faces and have a petting zoo. The mention of a petting zoo brought laughter, loosening the tension slightly. Alex felt something inside him shift. Could a festival really help address their troubles? It felt like a risk, but perhaps it was just the risk they needed to take. Let's do it, Alex declared, a fierce light igniting in his eyes. We'll launch a festival, and we'll call it Together We Rise. It will be a day for our employees, their families, and the community. A celebration of resilience, of hope, of building bridges. As the room buzzed with excited chatter about logistics and planning, Alex felt a spark of something he hadn't felt in a long time: hope. They were taking action, turning their worries into something tangible. Hours passed quickly, and with each detail that fell into place, the collective energy surged. Ideas flowed freely: live music, local food vendors, games for children, even a silent auction to benefit local charities. Each suggestion felt like a brick being laid on the path to recovery. However, just as momentum hit its stride, the chairperson's phone buzzed again. The previous weight of the room resurfaced as everyone turned their focus toward him. He looked up, his face grave once more. The legal team at headquarters is drafting a statement. They want to make sure we're prepared for potential fallout, he said, voice low and serious. We need a solid plan, and we need it fast. The room fell silent, apprehension creeping back in. Could they really navigate this storm while simultaneously planning a festival? In that moment, the gravity of their situation sank into Alex. The challenge was growing, but so was the strength of their unity. He felt Max's hand slip into his again, tiny yet comforting. When he looked into his son's eyes, he saw unyielding trust. Remember, kiddo, Alex said softly, it's all about how we face this. Together. Together, Max echoed, a fierce little soldier rallying for the cause. What they didn't realize was that the flames of adversity were only beginning to blaze. A showdown was coming, and it would take more than just a festival to face the storm. Would their resolve hold when the moment of truth arrived? The days flew by in a whirlwind of activity, each moment filled with purpose and the mounting excitement of the upcoming festival. Alex could feel the energy in the air as workers buzzed together, building floats, creating banners, and designing games. With every passing hour, he witnessed the spirit of togetherness they had so fervently hoped to ignite. Max was right there beside him, eyes wide with enthusiasm as they painted bright, cheerful signs. Look, Dad. This one has balloons. He exclaimed, holding up a colorful creation. It was messy, with paint smudges and uneven letters, but Alex couldn't help but smile at the passion his son infused into even the simplest of tasks. You're a natural, buddy, he said, ruffling Max's hair. It was such little moments that made everything feel worthwhile, giving him a glimmer of hope amidst the chaos, but then the phone calls started pouring in. Local news outlets wanted interviews, and reporters were eager to cover the burgeoning festival. The chairperson's voice loomed in Alex's mind, warning them about how easily things could go sideways. Every interaction carried the weight of the company's fragile reputation. One wrong move, one poorly worded comment, and everything could blow up in their faces. Can we invite the mayor? Max asked, hopeful. He would make it big, right? Definitely, Alex nodded, even as a knot tightened in his stomach. They could sure use every bit of good publicity. Let us reach out and see if she can come. The thought of it sent a bolt of uncertainty coursing through him. Their festival needed to go off without a hitch, and every detail needed to be perfect. It was more than just a party, it was a chance to restore faith in their company, perhaps even in themselves. As the festival drew closer, Alex felt like he was teetering on a precipice. He worked long into the night, poring over plans, tweaking every little aspect of the event that could possibly sway opinions. Claire was invaluable, working by his side, her once wild ideas now finally honed into a structured approach. Together, they became a formidable team. Then came the night when everything fell apart. Just a day before the festival, Alex received an urgent message from headquarters. His breath caught when he read the words, "Investors are unhappy with the festival. They feel it distracts from serious issues. They want a statement shift, something that downplays the celebratory aspect." Panic surged through him. How can they ask us to do that? He muttered, staring at the screen, unable to believe what was happening. That he had put everything, a newfound hope, the community's trust on the line, and now it felt as if the ground he stood on was crumbling beneath them. All the late nights, the creativity, the healing they hoped to find. What would it mean if they had to backtrack? Dad? Max's small voice interrupted his thoughts. Alex turned, finding Max clutching a scrap of ribbon in his tiny fist. Are you okay? You look scary. He knelt down, pulling his son into a tight embrace, breathing in the closeness. Yeah, just a little overwhelmed. Can we still have fun? Max asked, those big, trusting eyes cutting through the tension coiling around Alex's chest. We are going to have fun, Max. We'll make this work. But deep down, doubt whispered, could they truly protect their vision for Together We Rise while appeasing investors? The next few hours would drive them to a brink. Would they bend, or would they break? As the sun dipped below the horizon, Alex stared out at the festival grounds, bright with lights and decorations, an oasis of hope in a stormy sea. Uncertainty churned in his gut, but one thing was clear: tomorrow's festival would be a pivotal moment. The stakes had never been higher. With a deep breath, he held Max close. Let us get our beauty rest. Tomorrow is going to be a big day. Little did they know, the biggest challenge was yet to come. What unexpected obstacles lurked around the corner, threatening to derail everything they built. The morning sun broke through the clouds, casting a warm glow over the festival grounds. Bright banners danced in the gentle breeze, and squeals of children filled the air. Alex stood at the entrance, his heart pounding with equal parts excitement and anxiety. Today was not just a festival, it was a lifeline to the world he had fought to create: a family, a community, and a chance to heal. As people began arriving, the triplets buzzed with energy, darting from one activity to another. They were in their element, painting faces, bouncing in the inflatable castle, and drawing more hearts on every sign they could find. Ella's smile lit up the area, Jamie's laughter rang like music, and Max stood protectively by their side, a tiny sentinel of their joy. Seeing them so full of spirit, Alex knew with every fiber of his being that this was right, yet, the impending specter of what he had faced at the board meeting shadowed him. Investors were watching closely. Would they see the sincerity in their efforts, or would they dismiss it as mere distraction? Taking a deep breath, he pushed those fears aside. The festival had the power to change everything. Claire joined him, her eyes bright with purpose. The mayor just arrived, she exclaimed, her excitement infectious. And the local news is setting up for live coverage. Perfect, Alex said, steeling himself. Now, more than ever, we need to show them what family means. As the mayor stepped onto the makeshift stage, the crowd erupted in cheers. Alex's heart raced as he watched her set the tone for the festival, outlining the significance of community and family in hard times. This was the moment to remind everyone why they fought together. The mayor's speech culminated in a vibrant call to action. Today, we unite as one. Let us show support for our families and fight for our future. The cheers crescendoed, and for a fleeting moment, the weight on Alex's shoulders felt lighter, but in the back of his mind, an uneasy feeling simmered. Just as he was about to embrace it, a lone figure stepped toward him, a stern-looking board member, the one who had always questioned his motives. You've gone too far, Alex, he said coldly. This isn't how you fix a company in crisis. Alex's heart sank. We're building something here, foolishness. The man shot back, taking a step forward. You're risking everything. Before Alex could respond, he heard the laughter of the triplets blending into the crowd. Ella ran towards him, her tiny hands holding a bouquet of flowers she picked from the nearby stand. Papa, look. I made these for you. In an instant, the tension evaporated. The board member's words dimmed against the radiant smile of his daughter. Alex knelt to her level. Thank you, sweetheart. You brighten my day. Suddenly, Jamie squealed, let us take a picture, Papa. The opportunity hit him like a bolt of lightning. Everyone, gather around. He called, beckoning the triplets and his colleagues. The board member looked confused but was drawn into the moment. As they posed, Alex felt the warmth of the sun on his skin, along with a rush of clarity. The camera clicked, capturing the essence of what family meant: joy, love, support, and unity. This, he whispered, looking at the faces around him, is what we fight for. That evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Alex found himself surrounded by families, friends, and the deluge of joy cascading around. Tears glimmered in his eyes, not of sadness, but of profound happiness. The smiles, the laughter, they were his victory. Later, during the post-festival debrief with the board, Claire spoke passionately about the feedback they received. "We did it. Families came together, and they're rallying behind us. It's about time we nurtured our roots instead of just chasing numbers." The once stern looks in the room began to soften. The board member who had challenged him earlier sat in silent contemplation, watching the twinkle in his colleague's eyes. Maybe there's something here we can capitalize on." Alex felt a surge of strength. That's exactly it. We can embrace a new direction, focused on community and family. We can rebuild trust together. And so it went. The festival was not just a day spent in joy, but the spark that reignited the spirit of the company. It fortified their foundation of family and unity, paving way for a clearer, brighter future. Alex looked around at the triplets, who were now exchanging sticky notes and laughter with visitors. His heart swelled. They had faced shadows together, but the light was what truly mattered. "I'll always remember this," he said, gathering them close. This day changed everything. As they stood under the twilight, a sense of hope filled the air. Despite the challenges that lay ahead, Alex knew they had each other. They had created a family forged from love, and together, they would conquer anything. The storm had passed, and in its wake was a promise of joy, of family, and an unbreakable bond that would hold through all waves of adversity. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Comment your reactions and feelings about the ending. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. You need to subscribe now. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait not even one more second to share.